The happiest place on earth. Quick, what is it? Disneyland! Or, if you get really just overwhelmed with emotions about this joyful place, it probably more likely will get blurted out as Disneyland! Which is what I screamed over and over and over again when a couple years ago my mom said, "Hey, we're going to Disneyland!" Disneyland! And so we went to Disneyland. I'm telling you, it is so much more enjoyable when you are older. And if you ever say, it's just a place for little kids, I'd say it's more of a place for grown adults than it is for little kids. As a kid, I did go, but I don't remember nearly as much, and I didn't have the stamina or the energy to push through and enjoy as many possible rides as I could. For example, this last time we went, we looped Thunder Mountain Railroad over and over and over again, and we just did not get tired. We're like, hey, quick, it's 10:30 at night, do all the things. Oh, it was so cool. And also appreciating things like, what is that, the Twilight Zone? You know, the tower that you kind of sit in this platform and you go up, and then it just shoots you down like this. Oh, that one is so cool. Now, if I was a little kid, I would absolutely hate that. Wow. And now Disneyland is just bigger as well. So maybe that's another reason why I think Disneyland is so much better. Because now they have California Adventure and all that stuff. Oh, it was so cool. But as I was a little kid, the greatest memories I have are, let's see, Autotopia, because as a kid, you're not allowed to drive. And so when you get behind a vehicle or a steering wheel and you're allowed to actually drive for once, it will resonate and it will situate itself in your memory forever. That time I drove a car. Granted, you could only push the gas pedal down a certain yeah, not all the way, or if you did put it down all the way, it didn't go very fast. But still, you drove a car. Oh, that was so cool. I also remember a situation that kind of lodges itself up there in my brain is Space Mountain. And I'm pretty sure they've changed it, because a really long time ago, it was so dark and pitch black you couldn't see anything. And now I think it's a lot brighter and you can actually see where you're going. But back then, it's as if your eyes were closed and you just go like this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, back and forth. Oh, it hurt your neck so bad. Even as a little kid, when my neck was just like as flexible as a noodle. Oh, but now you could actually enjoy it. And they have cameras too that go off. Oh, the cameras. We'd always pose for the cameras. I'm sure you do as well. But as you're going down the roller coaster, oh, the California Screaming, that roller coaster that starts really fast, that goes, whoa, one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on. And it's not very big either. And it's on a wooden platform that goes click, 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 click. And yet still, they did such a good job. But the cameras, you would, of course, do something. Like everybody else is like screaming and everything, and then you're the only guy who's like asleep or looking really, really bored or pulling your shirt up over your face. If you're a guy. If you're a girl, I suggest you don't do that, or else you might get kicked out of the happiest place on earth. And also, when you're older, you appreciate the price a bit more. That is, it's not the cheapest place to go. And so as a little kid, you don't really register, man, my parents forked over quite a bit of money for this admission price. But when you're older, you're like, whoa, I forked over quite a bit of money for this admission price. I'm gonna get my money's worth. We're gonna do Indiana Jones like 10 times today. Oh man, Indiana Jones, wow. Have you thought about all of the contraptions that they have in place in each of these rides? Just think about for a moment that in the Indiana Jones ride, there is a separate vehicle. It's not just like a long string of cars that they just are basically on a track. It's a separate vehicle locked onto a track, but still, they let them go one by one by one. And there are pistons and hydraulics that push it up like this, and they go down like this. Talk about the maintenance of this thing. I can't believe that they actually keep these things up and running. Which, speaking of that, every time you go to Disneyland, there's always at least 2 rides that are broken down for maintenance. It seems to me that they are always the Peter Pan ride and the Pinocchio ride. They're probably the world's most boring rides ever, but I'm not sure if I've ever actually been on one. Oh, wait. Last time I did finally go on the Pinocchio ride. They actually opened it up, and it was terrifying. Just terrifying. Remember that part in Pinocchio when they go to Pleasure Island and all the little boys turn into little asses? He said ass. The little donkeys. That was terrifying. Wow. It makes you think that little kids a long time ago had different standards for fear, and they could actually deal with it a bit more. Actually, I don't think so. I'm sure kids were just as imaginative and fearful as they are today. It's just that parents back then did not have the wherewithal to stop and think to themselves, just a moment. When they go around this turn, there will be a dragon with spirals in its eyes, and it's going to pop up right in front of their faces. This might terrify a little 5-year-old. They didn't think about that back then. But now I guess they do, because little kids' rides are like Ants, for example, or Bug's Life. Not Ants, I'm sorry, that's not Disney. Bug's Life. It's like, you know, the grasshopper is sort of scary, but not really scary. He's more just like misunderstood. So yeah, I think our standards are getting better. These poor kids. Oh man. Speaking of being terrified, the Haunted Mansion, I could not do that when I was a little kid. I hated that. Oh man, that freaked me out so much. Because you're going along and the little faces are sort of, you know, they're holograms, they're projections. And the faces are ghosts, and they're talking like this, really over-enunciated. Terrifying! Parents, why did you take me on that ride? Still haven't gotten over it. But Disneyland, the happiest place on earth.